So we're looking at subquery, and how you can actually use subquery in SQL. But before I go into that, what is subquery? So subquery is a query nested with another query. So just like you are doing a nested. Remember the way you do your nested if in Excel or in Power BI where you put if inside if inside if? That's the same thing as subquery. A subquery is a query that is nested with another query. It is used to join, filter, or modify the result of the main query. Imagine you have a query that you've already written, right? And you are using another query to kind of modify the result of that, or to even filter the result of that. And that is what join query is all about. The syntax is very simple, because if you look at this, you can see that you can either do a select again. So you are selecting a particular column from a table, and then you are doing a where this column is equals to something here, or is greater than something here, or you are even creating something more complex. So basically, subquery is a way of you querying a query. But let's look at one example. Imagine I want to solve this particular problem saying that I want to find the listing with price higher than the average, right? I want to find the listing higher than the average. So first of all, I need to calculate or write a query that will give me the average, right? Then once I have the query that give me the average, then I need to write another query that will find the listing where the price is higher than the average. So to do that, I'm going to come here and just say subquery problem solving. I want to find the listing with price higher than the average. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to say I want to select table. I can say I want to select the name, which is the listing name. Then I also want to select the price, right? I also want to select the price from this table as well. Now from where? So I'm doing that from Airbnb listing table, right? So I'm selecting name and price from Airbnb listing table. So if I do this one now, it's going to return everything. But I only want to return where the price is greater than the average price, right? So to do that, that means I need to add a where clause. Now, a where clause, I can't just say average price. There's no way I can just easily say average price here. So the first thing I can do is to say where price is greater than. Now, I need to add another query, and that is what subqueries implements. Now, when you're adding another query, you need to kind of put it in bracket to denote that you are putting in this bracket and you are adding another query. So if I open and close my brackets right now, I can do a query to select. I can say select. So I'm doing another select right now. Select, and what am I selecting? So I am selecting the average, right? Average, AVG, average of the price, right? I'm selecting the average of the price from where? From Airbnb listing table, right? That is basically what I'm doing. So if you want to know the result of this, let me run this one I have in the bracket first. So if I run this simple query, select average of the price from Airbnb table, then it's going to give me 212. That is a query. Now, I've added another query with this one to kind of check where price is greater than 212. So if I run this right now, you will see that it will only give me the price where it is higher than 212. Can you see that? Where it is higher than 212. So that is a way of me doing a nested query. So this is how your query should look like when you are done. So you are selecting name and price from Airbnb listing table where price is greater than the average of the entire table, right? So let's look at another problem solving to do another subquery. So the problem solving we are looking at is what is the percentage contributed by each room type? Percentage contributed by each room type, right? So basically, I'm going to put another one here. So I want to look at what is the percentage contributed by each room type. Percentage contributed by each room type. So basically, if I select, if I do a select now, and I say select room type, room underscore type, right? And then also looking at price, correct? And then I want to do that from, price. And I want to do that from Airbnb listing table. Airbnb listing table. So if I return this right now, you will see that this is all my room type and this is their price. But I want it summarized anyway, so I don't want this anyway like this. So I can say group by room type. Now, once I say I want to group it by room type, then I will require an aggregation for this. So basically, if I come here and I do sum, right, and I sum up this price, that is how I can actually do an aggregation, which is the group by. So if I run this right now, I can see that the shared room has 827, the entire room has 100 and this, the hotel room have this, the private room have this, but I want to know the percentage each of them contributed rather than the actual number itself, right? So to do that, the best thing I can do is to say, okay, I want to divide this by the total. I want to get the total first. The first thing I want to get is the total. So I want to get the total of all of this guy in another query. So if I create another query now, I can say this guy multiply by 100, can add maybe a decimal to it, 100.00 divided by the total, right? Which is this guy divided by the total. So the way I know the total is if I put another subquery and I say select, right? So what am I selecting? I'm selecting the sum of price. I'm selecting the sum of price from the Airbnb listing table, right? So I'm just going to say from Airbnb listing table. If I run this query right now, just this simple query I have inside here, you see what this simple query will return. So that simple query is giving me the sum of my price, which is the total. So what I'm basically doing is I'm dividing this guy by the total, right? And I'm multiplying it by 100 to give me a percentage. So if I run this guy right now, then you will see the percentage each of them actually contributed. And you can see that entire room has 91%, right? Entire home or apartment has 91% of the price. Add the 91%, then private room has 7%, and then share room has the lowest, which is 0.6. We cannot actually order this by, so it's easier to read. So I can say order by, well, let's give this a name. So instead of no column, so let's call it as percentage of total. Percentage of total. Right? So let's group this by percentage of, order it by percentage of total. So if I run this right now, you see that it will order it. Then let's do descendant. And then it will order it from the highest to the lowest. And you see that the entire room is the highest and the lowest one is the shared room. So this is how your query should look like when you are done. So you are doing query inside query.